This is Joseph from Earthquake. Good morning. We're going to try today to get you familiar with our roughing kit and how it installed on new construction. New construction means you have no sheetrock, you just have 2x4s and stuff like that. But before we get there, I want to show you to get familiar with these three parts. You got two parts, those are the wing that will be centering the ring. The ring has a little tab here, and that's designed for the electricians. When they bring the wire Cat 6 or whatever wires they do, they run it through the wall and they run extra to connect to the speaker. Now, first to get you familiar with this has a lip circumference. That lip goes basically toward the sheetrock, as you can see here. How do you snap these wings? I prefer to snap them from the back side. So when I'm pushing against it, it doesn't come apart. So I know here I have a demo on the floor. In the attic, it's even that much harder. So what you do, guys, you snap these guys on the floor beforehand if you're gonna do the job, because it's easier when you're on the ground, not on the ladder. So here it is. So the lip facing the sheetrock. So what goes on the 2x4 is the wing, and you're gonna put 2 screws on each side so it's strong. Now this has elasticity to it, so it's gonna still move up and down. On this wall here, we got 16 on center 2x4. In the attic, most likely you'll have 24, which makes the job a little bit easier. You can move these around to align with other speakers. Okay, guys, so I wanted to give you an end view of what's underneath the sheetrock. This way you can see and feel comfortable. I'm gonna lift it up. As you can see, the ring is beveled inward, okay? And it's pushed back by the sheetrock. Sheetrock is here, okay? So even after I cut the hole, if that remains the same, doesn't bother me one bit. Most custom home installer, when they're doing this, they want to cut the sheetrock back to the outside. I don't care what's outside. I can cut to the inside, drop my speaker, and move on. Why? Because that's easy. To do that, I'm gonna need a special tool. Right now, what I did here, I have 3 bits. If I'm gonna use a router, that works. And at the end here, there should be bearing. And typically the bearing is equal in width to the cutting section. In this case, I'm holding my hand 1/2 inch cutting, which is good because sheetrocks are 1/2 inch. And I separated them. Good if the bearing at the end to the outside. Bad if the bearing on the inside. This doesn't help you. Do not use anything that look like that. Those are bad. You want the bearing to be guided by the plastic. So basically, if I'm cutting here and I have a sheetrock about here and I'm going like this, the bearing is gonna define my circumference. So the next step is position this into the tool. When you come to position this into the tool, you need to know how far is the bearing sticking in. Now, I have 2 types of tools here. One is the bearing equal to the blade cutting diameter. 2, it's an oversized blade. That allows me to cut some of the plastic and may be able to allow the plastic ring to go into the sheetrock. I don't prefer this one. I prefer this for consumer usage. It's easy. You cut this and you move on. Okay, so guys, I already put my tool blade in place, but I want to explain. If you don't know how to do any of these, do not attempt to work with this. You can resort to standard mechanical cutting tool. the most important part, you need to know with an X where is the ring. You don't have to be dead in the middle. You're gonna punch a hole here. So it doesn't matter where this is, you're gonna punch a hole. And if you make a 4-inch hole, you can look and see where, which way to go with this tool, and then go like that. Hopefully, you're not careless and you don't cut electric wire or get electrocuted. Right now, I'm gonna punch a hole with this drill. And I'm not gonna start yet. I'm gonna show you once again. This baby has to be 1 inch to the top of the bearing and no more. Why I say it has to be 1 inch? Because if I flip this tool here upside down like this, we have a tab. And this tab, typically the electrician comes on this 2x4 and put his extra wire here and loops it through so you don't have to fish it. You don't want to touch this tab. A 1 inch distance here from the top of the bearing guarantees you're not going to touch the tab. See that? So that's very important. Right now, I'm going to put this one in. Now, technically speaking, I'm done. Now, some fancy guy will say, oh, he cut it to the inside of the plastic. And I'll say, so what? This is the easiest way to do it. Now, you want to get fancy, you can use, as I said before, a blade that has bigger cutting distance diameter and smaller bearing. When it guides to the plastic here, it cuts more sheetrock so the ring can go in the hole. But guess what? Why should it go in the hole? Says who? Doesn't matter. Come look on the other side. So right now, this is what I have. It's still sticking out. So when I fasten the speaker, it'll come back up like that. So the tabs are angled. That's not a problem. Right now, you drop the speaker and you're done, and you mount it. Nothing is cut. My wire tab guide is still there. Everything is there. Okay, guys, I want to point something out. These tabs, those are earthquake speaker. We take in consideration the distance. So this is like about 1 inch distance. These are loose. They give you another 1/2 inch to tighten. So they drop right in. You didn't need to have this ring go into the sheetrock. I just wanted to show you. Now, if you're using some other brand, you might not have enough distance. If you don't have enough distance, we're gonna show you the next step, how to minimize this 1 inch distance. This cutting tool here has in it an offset. And what I mean by offset is that the cutting blade has a bigger diameter than the guide, which is this. The bearing is smaller than this. So this most likely is gonna come and cut sheetrock away from the plastic, allowing the plastic to move into the sheetrock. Now that's not the right blade. A typical blade that I need, which I don't have, would have a slightly more cutting blade with a small bearing, allowing me to cut the sheetrock about 1/16 of an inch more than the ring.